So welcome again. My name is Jason Shelton. I'm a Director of Recruitment for the College of Arts and Sciences at the University of Colorado Boulder. Thanks so much for taking some time this afternoon to learn a little bit more about the college. I'm joined here by my colleague Yasmin Martinez, as well as David Aragoni, and our student ambassador Kyle. So the structure of the program, I'll give you a little bit of an overview of kind of the offerings, or academic offerings. Yasmin will talk a little bit about those extracurricular and co-curricular opportunities. And then Kyle will share a little bit about his experiences, and you'll have a chance to ask him questions about his experience as students. And then, of course, we will have some slides from Mr. Aragoni to tell you how you might be able to pay for this, so financial aid options. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Great. So again, this session is about the College of Arts and Sciences. I like to refer to it as sort of the intellectual heart and soul of CU Boulder. It's the largest college at CU Boulder. And it's where you're going to find your natural sciences, your arts and humanities, your social sciences. This is where you're going to really find sort of the college experience here. You get a solid liberal arts education. Solid program across the board, 25 top 50 programs, and over 300 distinguished professors on campus. And while it's a large college, know with over 50 majors and a number of certificates, know that it's really kind of made up of a bunch of really small communities. And so while CU Boulder is a campus of over 30,000 students, the student faculty ratio is less than 18:1. Even in your large lecture classes, you're going to have some small breakout experiences in the form of a recitation or a lab. So know while you have the flexibility and the opportunity to do a lot of exploring here at CU Boulder, that you also have an opportunity to learn in a small community within the campus as well. Okay. So just a sampling of our 3 divisions. So these are just these are the majors that you might be able to specialize in here at CU Boulder. And so first and foremost is is our Arts and Humanities division. Field of Art and Art History. And if you get a chance to visit campus, make sure you check out our Visual Arts Center. It's just over 10 years old, beautiful building. It's got one of the few wood-fired kilns in its basement. In Art and Art History, you can also study printmaking, photography, painting, all of those sorts of things. We're one of the top 5 programs in ceramics in the country, so just wanted to highlight that one there. Next, I wanted to highlight in this unit or in this area would be our cinema studies and moving images arts. So if you're interested in making movies, whether it's in the film or digital media, our film studies department, cinema studies department, is one of the top 25 in the nation. And so interested in movies, this is going to be the major for you. In our history department, we've got a great history department. For those of you who are fans of hardcore history, that podcast, know that Dan Carlin is an alum of CU Boulder and recently gave a graduation address there. Just a wonderful department there. Philosophy is near and dear to my heart. I'm actually a graduate of a philosophy major, so just evidence that you can do things with philosophy after graduation. And then also wanted to spotlight here Spanish and Portuguese. Not only can you learn, not only does it have tracks in Spanish, Portuguese, and Catalan, we also have a Spanish for the Professions major where in your normal or your typical language program, you'll be studying literature and culture. But here we have applied classes such as Spanish for the environmental studies, Spanish for business, Spanish for the health professions. And so just know there's an applied track there as well. And then we've got a fantastic theater and dance department. Next slide, please. Okay. Social sciences, anthropology, 3 tracks in our anthropology department: physical anthropology, cultural anthropology, and an archaeology track in that. Economics, we've got a quantitative finance track that's really popular, as well as a global economics degree there. If you're interested in actuarial studies, you can also find that, that track, which is in partnership with not only business, economics, and math. We've got one of the top ethnic studies departments in the country, and one of the few that actually offers a PhD. So there are only, I believe, 6 programs that offer a PhD in ethnic studies. International affairs is also a very popular major. I believe they're starting to open up again, and so many study abroad opportunities, which Yasmin will be talking about a little bit later. Linguistics, we've got a very popular computational linguistics track there, so teaching computers how to understand language. So there's your Google and Alexa, that sort of thing. Political science is also a very popular major here at CU Boulder. We've got a CU and DC program, which Yasmin will refer to. Sociology is probably, I would say, our 5th largest major on campus. For those of you who are interested in criminology, you'll find that under our sociology department. Really interesting class offered in partnership with ethnic studies, where you actually will take a class where some of your classmates are current inmates. Not sure, I've got to be careful about how I describe that program, but the CU students work with folks who are currently incarcerated to learn about the criminal justice system. And then your speech, language, and hearing sciences. We offer audiology as well as speech pathology. We also teach American Sign Language in that department. And then our Women and Gender Studies department, which offers an LGBTQ certificate. Last but not least is our Natural Sciences department here. It's our largest division in the College of Arts and Sciences. We start off here with our Astrophysical and Planetary Sciences. We've got 3 telescopes on campus. We've got an astrophysics track. We've got one of the, if not the largest contract with NASA through our last partnership. That's one of our graduate program partnerships. If you come to campus, you'll see this big shiny globe, which is our planetarium. So definitely strong in that area. I'll also kind of group together atmospheric and oceanic sciences, geography, geology, and environmental studies. Basically, our climate sciences, we're #1 in the country in several of these divisions when it comes to studying climate sciences. So definitely different flavors here. For those of you who are kind of unsure, environmental studies is a great combination of not only your strong natural sciences, but here at CU Boulder, it also has a very strong policy track to it. So as opposed to other, let's say, environmental sciences programs here, you can sort of tailor how much science you want to wrap into your environmental studies program. But know that it's extremely popular here at CU Boulder. We have actually a very active environmental center for those of you who are very, very interested in sustainability. It's actually one of the oldest in the country and largest in the country. Our physics department, we house 4 Nobel Prize laureates, including one who teaches our 1st level physics, or general physics there. Also wanted to point out here on the slide, our psychology department. In many schools, psychology is located in social sciences. Here, we've got many, many research opportunities in psychology, and just know that the natural sciences, especially our biology, partner well with psychology, which is why you'll find that here in this natural sciences division. Stats and data science is our newest major in arts and sciences. We have a brand new 2nd Google headquarters here in Boulder. So we're looking to partner with those folks, and we actually have placed folks in Google. And then on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see our 5 biology. So for those of you who are maybe interested in the health sciences, we'll talk about that in a second. But if you're just interested in biology, you see our biochemistry super strong here, a combination obviously between biology and chemistry. Our ecology and evolutionary biology is more about kind of ecosystems, but you'll also find our zoology and botany classes kind of wrapped into that major. And then integrative physiology is our human biology program, and then and it's very popular for health professions. And then our molecular, cellular, and developmental biology, it's kind of microbiology. And then our neuroscience is your biology of the brain. I will pause here because I think I failed to mention it. So we're happy to take questions from the chat. So thank you for putting questions in the chat. I should also mention that if for some reason we don't get to your question, or if it's a specific question where it's helpful to connect with us by email, our email address is thecollege, THE college, all one word, @colorado.edu. So, as far as getting more information, certainly we can certainly get back to you through that email. So that's our contact information. And again, drop some questions in the chat for us to talk about a little bit later if we don't get to those. Okay. Pre-health. So notice that we didn't actually have a pre-health major. That said, if you're interested in a science that pairs well with pre-health, we've got our integrative physiology, MCB, biochem, psychology, and neuroscience are probably the most popular majors for those interested in pre-health. Do want you to know that that you could major in art, dance, political science, and still major and still go into a health profession. We have a brand new, sort of new and improved pre-health advising program that'll be launching next semester, so it'll be in great shape for you coming in next year. We have a health professions residential academic program. Yasmin will be talking a little bit more about that, but that program is where you actually take classes in your residence hall. They actually have a health professional in the residence with you. And then we've got a very popular, especially in this day and age, public health certificate that you can, and I'll talk a little bit more about certificates and what those really entail in just a minute. And then for those of you who are Colorado residents, we're not Colorado residents, but know that we've got a great partnership. It's an informal partnership with our Anschutz Colorado School of Medicine. It's basically our CU School of Medicine. And for those of you who are familiar with Colorado, it's located in Aurora, right down the road, probably about a 30-mile drive, 30-minute drive away from campus. So there's partnerships there, ability to do some internships there, that sort of thing. Okay, so here a little bit just about how the degree is set up here at CU. In order to, we work here on a credit system. I know that some smaller liberal arts colleges work on a unit system. So a credit is roughly how many hours you are in class. So to break that down a little bit more, in a typical semester, you'll take 15 credits, 12 to 15 credits, and that translates into 3 or 4 classes. Now, when we expand that out, for an arts and sciences degree, you'll need 120 credits to graduate. So again, roughly 15 credits a semester. And all that to say is that a third of your credits go towards our general ed, basically the foundation of your liberal arts education, so our general education program. A third will go towards your major, and then you've got a third left over. So a lot of folks, especially in arts and sciences, like to double major, they like to add a minor, they like to do a certificate. Really easy to do here, and it's actually quite rare for folks just to graduate with one particular program. So lots of space. What's nice is that often your general ed, your major requirements will take care of your general ed requirements, and there's a lot of double dipping in terms of how that works. I'll take a little detour here for those of you who are doing AP classes, advanced placement classes, the International Baccalaureate, or let's say you're taking concurrent college classes. We apply those towards your degree. So you can earn credit towards graduation. So it's a great way to take care of your general education requirements. It's a great way to give yourself some space to do some study abroad, to again, double major, minor, that sort of thing. When we add electives, there's not like a separate section of elective classes. Electives are just happen to be credits that don't happen to go according to a particular requirement. Okay. And then finally, I just wanted to give you a sampling of certificates. So I talk about majors and minors. So the difference between a major and a minor is really kind of a mini major, if you will. So if you minor in, let's say, chemistry, or you major in chemistry, it may be that you need to take, we'll say, 36 credits towards chemistry. But a minor may only require 18 credits towards that. So just know that minors, you minor within a department. So you would minor in political science, minor in economics, that sort of thing. These certificates are more interdisciplinary. So you'll be taking classes from a number of different areas. So, animals and society, you'll be taking some from e-bio, you take some from sociology, there's even a French class that goes into animals and society. You see our critical sports studies, that's really popular out of our ethnic studies department, global environmental affairs, but it's just a good way if you're interested in a particular sort of applied, I'll call it, area. Certificates are a great way to capture that. So you see some of the samplings. This is not even an exhaustive list of the certificates here. Okay, with that, I'm gonna hand it over to my colleague Yasmin Martinez that will tell you a little bit more about those other academic resources. Thank you, Yasmin. Go ahead and take it away.
Great, thanks, Jason. So the first one I'd like to start off with is the honors program. So know that each college does have their own honors program. So this one is specific to the College of Arts and Sciences. The way that you get involved in the honors program is that this is an invitation-only program. So based off of your admissions application, you will be invited to the honors program. It is completely optional, so although you're invited, you do not have to participate, but I do highly encourage you to look into it if you are invited. There are so many great resources within the honors program. Some of those resources are access to smaller classes. So for example, let's say you're a biology major and you're taking your general biology. That class tends to be a little bit larger. It is a lecture hall, about 200 students. But know that if you do take this class through the honors program, it's about 19 students per class. So instead of taking it as a lecture hall with 200 other students, you're taking it with 18 other students and have more of a seminar style course. You have one-on-one learning with your professor, and know that you do also have access to honor specific professors. So these are professors who are dedicated to the arts and sciences honors program. I will say that with this program, it's very research intensive. There's lots and lots of opportunities for you to get involved in research experiences. They highly encourage students to get involved, especially if you're considering graduate school. It makes you a very competitive applicant. And as an R1 institution, know that we have lots of opportunities for undergraduate students to get credit for their research experiences or to get funding to put on their own research. With the honors program, you do also have the option to pursue an honors thesis. So with the honors thesis, this is something that you usually prepare for during your junior year. You start thinking about the project that you want to do, and then during your senior year, you do write and defend that thesis and get awarded that in honors. For the honors program, if you're not invited to it your first year, know that you can still participate later on. As long as you maintain a 3.3 GPA during your time at CU, you will be honors eligible. So that's typically after your first year. So once you've taken your classes during your first year and have maintained that 3.3, starting your second year, that's when you would be honors eligible and have access to those smaller classes, those honor-specific research experiences, and the option to write an honors thesis. For the residential academic programs, those are called RAPs for short. These are programs that are housed in specific dorms, and they do have academic themes. So as Jason mentioned, we do have one with the health professions. So if you're interested in the health professions and want to take classes in the dorm and live with other people who have similar interests to you, then a residential academic program may work for you. Know that we also have the honors RAP. We have a global studies RAP. We have one focus on the environment and natural sciences. So know that there's tons of different opportunities for you to get involved in a RAP program. A little bit more about these are that you do actually take classes in your dorm, and those also do tend to be a lot smaller and more seminar style. So like I mentioned before, let's go into that natural sciences and environment RAP. If you are an environmental studies student and you're taking an intro class, know that those intro classes, again, tend to be a little bit bigger. But if you're in the RAP, you do take those classes in your dorm with students that live with you. Those are also capped to about 19 students. So again, a lot smaller, more seminar style focused. Although the RAP programs are academic focused, know that they do provide additional programming. So they provide workshops on professional development, but they do also provide that social community. So they'll have coffee hours, or they could build gingerbread houses during the holidays and things of that sort. For the accelerated master's program, not all majors will offer the specific program, but this is an opportunity for students to get both their bachelor's and their master's within 5 years. This isn't something that you have to plan for as soon as you're a freshman here. You do have some time to make up your mind. Typically, students will start thinking about this during their sophomore year, really apply for the program their junior year, and then start taking their classes during their senior year, and then that 5th year to complete the master's program in 1 year instead of 2. I can put the link a little bit later on in the session to show you which majors do offer that accelerated master's program. In terms of advising, we have first-year academic advisors and departmental academic advisors. So as an incoming first-year student, your first-year academic advisor is really there to support you your entire first year. They'll help you create your schedule and how to register for classes, tell you the difference between high school and college, really helping you acclimate to CU, know which resources are available. If you need any academic tips, again, they're kind of your #1 fan when it comes to your first year, and they really want you to succeed. After your first year, you'll then have a departmental academic advisor for every major that you choose. So for example, let's say you're a physics major and a dance major. You'll have a departmental physics academic advisor and a dance department academic advisor. Those advisors are really there as an expert in that specific major. So they know about all of the resources in that department, all of the opportunities in terms of internships, research experiences, and ways to really make the most out of your time here at CU in that specific department. That advisor will usually stay the same from your second year up until the time you graduate. So again, they're really working with you to see what support and resources you need from them. So moving into opportunities, know that there are so many opportunities for you to get involved in here at CU. One that seems to be really popular, especially as things kind of open up, is education abroad. So know that we do offer over 400 different programs in 64 different countries. So any student can basically find something that fits their schedule, what they're looking for in education abroad. Some programs will range from 1 a week to 1 semester to an entire year. Again, completely up to you. It works with any major, and you can take classes in your major. So let's say, again, you're a math major. You can take math classes abroad. You can take some general education classes abroad, or maybe you kind of just want to relax and kind of sightsee a little bit more and you want to take elective courses abroad. Again, completely up to you. Just know that it will take some planning to go abroad. So definitely let your academic advisor know, hey, I'm really interested in doing education abroad. Maybe I want to go a couple of times. That way you're really able to see when is the most appropriate time for you to go abroad. The next piece I want to talk about are internships. So know that every department has their own internships. Again, that departmental advisor and even your first year advisor are great resources for you to find those internship opportunities. You can have internships really focusing on any industry, have them focus on research. Again, it's completely up to you to decide. There are ways for you to get credit for internships. You can get paid for internships. We do also have a career services office that provides students with opportunities to get involved in internships. So maybe you don't have a resume or you don't know how to really write a cover letter. they're there as a resource to help you do those things. You're not here alone. Again, we're trying to make sure that you're getting the experiences and figure out what it is you like to do before you graduate. Career Services also puts on career fairs. So they'll have internship career fairs. They'll have some for you to get jobs after graduation or right before you graduate. They'll have industry-specific career fairs. So maybe you're really into cinema studies, and they'll have a career fair specifically for film or for the tech industry. So know that, again, Career Services is another great resource for you. Jason touched a little bit on CU and DC. This is a great program. It goes into that internship piece. So with CU and DC, this is a program that you can do basically any semester, whether that's the fall, spring, or summer. And it works with a lot of different majors, but I will say that students that take advantage of this program tend to be in international affairs, political science, economics, sociology. But again, know that any major can participate in this internship. This is where you go to Washington, DC for a semester with a cohort of CU students. During the day, you're doing an internship of your choice. So you can focus on policy. So maybe you're an environmental studies student and want to focus on environmental policy, or you're really looking to get into nonprofit work, or you want to work for the government. Again, completely up to you. Very, very flexible with that internship piece. And then during the evening, you're taking 2 classes, again, as a CU cohort. So you're not doing this experience alone. The internship is really getting you that application, that real world experience, seeing if that's something you want to do. And then again, during the evening, you're still taking classes with other CU students. In terms of student clubs and organizations, I'll touch a little bit more on this later and give some specific examples, but know that at CU Boulder, although it's a large institution, you can make it feel very small by joining student clubs and organizations. We have over 500 different clubs, and if you decide to explore all 500 and feel like, oh, none of these work for me, know that it's very, very easy to create your own club, get funding to put on different events. So you do have that option to really explore. And the great thing about CU is that because we are so large, if one thing doesn't work out, there's always something else. So know that there's a lot of ways to really find your community here at CU. Again, research is a big component of CU. So with undergraduate research, there are a couple of ways that you can get involved. So like I mentioned before, you can get credit by participating in research. You can work in faculty labs. So with faculty labs, those are labs run by faculty members. They could be your professors or other faculty members that you haven't taken classes from. But the way that they usually work is that each faculty lab will have their own criteria. So some may require for you to be involved for at least a semester. They may want you to take those intro classes before you apply. Again, because each one is run by a different faculty member, they may ask for different things, but it's a great way for you to really get involved in our research and really learn from there. They're here to guide and mentor you. You're not expected to know everything about research or that specific topic with those faculty labs. And another great program is the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program. We call it UROP for short, but that's a grant program for students to get funding for research experiences. There are 2 sub-programs within this larger program. So you have assistantships, which work very similarly to faculty labs. So you're working with a faculty member, they're your mentor, they guide you through the research experience. And then you have individual funding or the individual grant. And let's say you're a physics student and there's a class that you took and you're like, wow, that class was awesome. I kind of want to dive deeper into this topic. You can use that individual grant to fund your own original proposal. So this is a completely original project created by you. You can do it on your own, or you can do it with a group of friends or classmates, to know that you have a lot of flexibility with those opportunities. So going into academic communities, know that there's a lot of different ways to find community, but specifically in arts and sciences, we do have this peer mentor program where we connect arts and sciences first year students with an upperclassman who is also an arts and sciences student. Typically, we will connect you during the beginning of the summer. So if you have questions as you kind of, figure out where you want to go for school, when you should be meeting with your academic advisor, how to register for classes, you're just not really aware of everything. They're really there to guide you over the summer. And they're really your first friend before you come to campus. Mentees are paired with a mentor who is really invested in what they're going through. All of our mentors who have been in that experience of being a first-year student, they're really there to listen to you, inspire you, and just navigate those challenges, and then let you know about different opportunities. So you can ask a mentor, oh, how did you get involved in research? How did you find your internship? I'm not too sure how to register for this class. Who can I talk to about that? We do also have a campus-wide program called the First Generation Scholars Program. And this is an opportunity for first-gen students to build that strong academic and social community. They do host regular academic workshops, professional building workshops, and also community building events. They offer a space where students can create that sense of belonging and connection with other students who are also first-gen, staff that are first-gen, and also faculty members who are first-gen. They offer mentorship, and then they do also, again, offer those community building events, so you have more of that social community as well. We do also have our Student Academic Success Center, which is SASC for short, and this is a space or a community that is also academic focused, and they're really there to help you develop skills in academic learning. So how to prepare for a midterm, what are the best study habits. They do also provide those smaller courses such as math and writing courses. They offer tutoring and other research opportunities as well. In the arts and sciences, know that we do also have the Miramontes Arts and Sciences program, MASS for short, and this is an inclusive academic community. So they have a space that's, again, focused on academics, but also on that social aspect. They do offer participation scholarships, and they have, again, that dedicated space for advising, for studying, and they do also offer seminars that tend to be a lot smaller. So moving into those social communities, we have, again, over 500 different clubs here at CU, and all of them tend to fall under a category. So some of the examples I pulled here are that you'll find academic clubs. So I'll go into the specifics in the next slide. We have community service and volunteerism, cultural and international. We have a couple of honor societies within the departments, recreation and wellness, social justice, advocacy, and activism. So these are just a couple that the 500 clubs fall under, but just know that our clubs do focus on a specific topic. So if you're really interested in maybe community service and want to find all of the community service clubs, it's very easy to do that. So going into some specifics, so we have our Black Student Alliance. So this can count kind of towards that social justice, advocacy, and activism. It's also a very social community. We have the CU Political Science Club. So this is more of your academic. So if you're in theater, you can be part of the theater club and so on. If you're part of math, you can be part of math. Then we have the Global Medical Brigade. So this is more of your community service. Also with a lens of international, they do tend to travel abroad and provide medical services and products to communities that are in need. In terms of that recreation and wellness, we have our hiking club. There's also a snowboarding and skiing club for those of you who are really interested in that. We then also have our Leading Women of Tomorrow. So if you're interested in networking or building community in that professional aspect, that club may work for you. And then we do also have fraternity and sorority life here at CU. Know that only about 11% of the student population is involved in Greek life. It's not something that you have to participate in to find that social community. Again, over 500 different clubs, academic, social, community service, you will find your space here at CU. With fraternity and sorority life, I do want to just emphasize that we do have the Multicultural Greek Council. So this is a community for multicultural sororities and fraternities, or historically Black fraternities and sororities, and then other types of sororities and fraternities that fall under serving more marginalized groups. So with that, I do want to pass it on to David to talk a little bit more on how to fund your education here at CU.
Yeah, Yasmin, thank you so much for that. Hello, everyone. My name is David. I am the Scholarship Coordinator and Analyst in the College of Arts and Sciences. So I just want to take a few minutes to talk a little bit about financial aid and scholarship opportunities here at CU Boulder and also in the College of Arts and Sciences. So the first thing to know is that financial aid comes in a few different forms: scholarships, grants, work study, and loans. Scholarships and grants don't need to be repaid, and the loans must be repaid with interest. So do be sure to go for those scholarships and grants first. Work study is need-based financial aid and allows students to earn money by working a part-time job. There are many on-campus opportunities for work study. So for example, you might work in the bookstore, you might work in financial aid, you might work in the Office of Advancement. So there's a lot of opportunities, and that's also a great resource financially for students that do qualify. For need-based scholarship awards, including work study, students must submit the free application for federal student aid, that's also known as the FAFSA, to the Office of Financial Aid each year. And it is crucial to submit that each year because we do use that to verify financial need before offering those financial need-based awards. And then in addition to the Office of Financial Aid, the College of Arts and Sciences awards over 200 scholarships each year, and most are awarded through the CU Boulder scholarship application. And this is a common application that's used to award scholarships across campus. So the scholarship application can be accessed through your student portal as early as November 1st of each year, and deadlines are going to be between mid-February to late March of each year. You can apply for scholarships as soon as you've submitted your admissions application, so that's key. You don't need to wait for your admissions decision. You can apply for scholarships as soon as you've submitted your admission application to CU Boulder, so do get ahead of that as soon as you can. The CU Boulder scholarship application includes a general application and recommended opportunities. And what this means is you'll first submit the general scholarship application, and this alone will match you with scholarship opportunities across campus. And then you'll see a list of additional recommended opportunities to which you can apply. And these are going to be ones that require a special essay or a letter of recommendation or something like that, something in addition to the general scholarship application. So do be sure once you've submitted that general scholarship application that you look out for those recommended opportunities and complete those as well. And in arts and sciences, scholarships may be awarded based on need, merit, or a combination of both. Award criteria varies, and it can include major, minor, GPA, academic level. It really just depends on the scholarship in question. Scholarship decisions are made in the spring and awarded for the following academic year. The typical award is for 1 year, but there are some multi-year scholarships available, and amounts do range, but are usually around $2,000, usually between $1,000 to $3,000 roughly. And I just quickly want to mention a couple scholarships to keep your eyes open for. One is the Woodruff Memorial Scholarship. So if you're an in-state student, this is a great one to go for. It covers tuition and fees for 4 years at CU Boulder. Another one's the Addison Scholarship in Art and Art History. So if you're interested in art and art history and you're going to be majoring in that field, that's a great scholarship to apply for as well. But there are a ton of opportunities for both in-state and out-of-state students. So be sure to submit your scholarship application as soon as possible. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, David. So just again to cover some important dates, I know David just mentioned the scholarship application. So again, that opened November 1st, and you can apply for the scholarships as soon as you submit your application. You do not have to wait for your admission decision to apply for scholarships. The early action deadline has already passed. That passed on November 15th, but do know that as a first-year applicant, regular decision deadline is January 15th, so you do have up until that time to apply to CU Boulder. And with that, we will open it up for questions. So feel free to put your questions in the chat, and then I'll have our ambassador, Kyle, introduce himself, his major, what he's involved in, and why he chose CU and the College of Arts and Sciences.
All right, thank you, Yasmin. I'm Kyle. Frog in my throat, sorry. Hi, friends. I'm Kyle. I'm a theater major here at CU with an emphasis in acting. I'm also pursuing minors in music and dance. Main things that I've been doing at CU lately have been a lot of research-based stuff. I just finished directing a production of Gruesome Playground Injuries in conjunction with the psychology department as an examination of mental health. And in the spring, I'm going to be doing work with the speech, language, and hearing department with victims of aphasia, and studying how theatrical performance can help with communication with stroke victims who are suffering from that condition. So a lot of research-based stuff for me. And I chose CU for that exact reason, because I wanted to be able to, do research with a wide variety of topics, and CU has allowed me to work with the psychology department and the theater department in conjunction, and I'm going to get to do it again in the spring with the speech, language, and hearing department. So a lot of great research opportunities. That's why I came to CU. And any questions?
Great, thanks, Kyle. Our first question, and this one might be for you, Jason. Do you know how strong or competitive the chemistry department is here at CU Boulder?
Yes, I do. I don't actually have the updated rankings. I think at least as of two years ago, we were top 20 in the country, but I'll have to kind of I'll give you some updated rankings there. What's great is that we do have a new chemistry building on tap. I don't know how long it's going to take to get that built, but I know there are plans for a new chemistry facility. We also have a fairly new biotech building. It's just devoted to biotechnology, biochemistry, and that's actually where our biochemistry department is located. So I'm happy to connect you with, if you drop your contact information in the chat, if you haven't already, connect you with the department to get you some more information about our chemistry department and maybe some research areas in that area.
Great, thank you. Our next question is for David. Is FAFSA for US nationals only? So I'm assuming like US residents, citizens, that sort of nature.
Yes, yeah. The free application for federal student aid, you do have to be a U.S. citizen to submit that. But we do have a lot of scholarships that are going to be merit-based or that don't require students to demonstrate financial need through the FAFSA. So I would still encourage students, even international students, to submit the scholarship application. Really, the only issue you'll run into is that piece with FAFSA and then in-state residency. Some scholarships do require in-state residency, but apart from that, you will qualify for all the other scholarships.
Thanks, David. And I do want to add that if you're undocumented or asset, we do have CAFSA as well, which is the kind of the Colorado version of FAFSA, where students can get state funding. Let's see, our next question. Can you take classes in other colleges besides the one you're in?
Yeah, the short answer is yes. I've taken many classes in the College of Music. I've taken a couple of classes in the physics, not physics. Which one is it? The one that's separate from us, engineering. I took a class in there. So yes, you can take classes that are outside of the College of Arts and Sciences. That is totally open to you.
And I'll go ahead and add, thanks, Kyle. I'll also add that you can actually minor outside of the College of Arts and Sciences as well. So I know that the business minor is very popular combination with an arts and sciences major. There's also a creative design and technology minor offered out of engineering that pairs nicely with arts and sciences, and you can do the same. You actually can double. So I will say it's very easy to double major. So you take the general ed once, and then you take your major requirements on top of that. You actually can double degree. That's getting a little bit into the weeds there, but you could graduate with a degree from the College of Business and the College of Arts and Sciences. It's a little harder to do it in 4 years because you're having to take the general education requirements for arts and sciences, the requirements for business, general ed requirements for business, and those according majors. But no, it's very easy to double major with arts and sciences and get a minor in another college. But it's not out of the realm of possibility to do a double degree too.
Great, thank you, Kyle and Jason, for that answer. How large is the psychology department? How many students?
Oh, I don't know how many students specifically, but I know that it is our largest department on campus. It is massive. There's thousands upon thousands of students for sure. I don't have the exact number though.
I will add that although psychology is one of our largest majors, I think something that we did forget to mention was kind of the structure of lecture halls and how they work in terms of making the class feel a little bit smaller. So yes, lecture halls tend to be a little bit bigger, 200, 250, sometimes 300 students. Know that we break those up in either recitations or labs. So if it's kind of more of a natural science, you'll have a lab associated with that lecture hall. If a lab basically breaks up that lecture hall into 25 to 30 student classes, where you're doing a little bit more application, you're doing a couple of research projects, writing research papers, kind of getting that hands-on experience. Recitations work very, very similarly. So again, 25 to 30 students, you're doing kind of these workshops or projects in your recitation, get more of that one-on-one learning. So again, we're not really just allowing you to take a lecture hall with so many other students. We're trying to make sure that you feel supported and you feel comfortable asking those questions in your recitation or in your lab. All right, next question. And David, this one might be for you. Does CU offer need-based financial aid for international students?
That's a good question. I don't. I'm not sure for international students, but I do think there is. My recommendation would be connect with the Office for International Students here on campus. Need-based aid for international students is probably not going to come from our Office of Financial Aid, so it would probably be coming from the Office for International Students. They'll have a lot of great resources, so I would encourage international students connect with them about that.
Great, thanks, David. Our next question, Jason, this one might be for you. Do you know the difference between cinema studies and moving image arts and the major offered by CMCI, film production?
So it's my understanding that the journalism option or the CMCI option is more journalism TV focused. So really, if you're interested in filmmaking, movie making, then cinema studies and moving images arts would be really your home in terms of the facilities. If you're also interested in critiquing films, we also have a track in our cinema studies that way too. But media production is a little bit more focused on TV. And kind of journalism focused, whereas if you're thinking more movies, that's going to be our cinema studies and moving images arts. I think documentaries are kind of in between, so I think both programs offer the opportunity to make documentaries, but that would be the kind of distinction, TV versus film.
Great, thank you. Our next question, does cinema studies and moving image arts have a residence hall? We don't have one specifically for cinema studies. We do have a Creative Minds wrap. So again, it's one of those academic programs that's housed in a specific dorm. With that Creative Minds, it's more all of the creative majors within arts sciences. So you'll have access to resources for the arts, for cinema studies students, kind of more that artsy type of majors. So you won't just be housed with cinema studies students. Again, you will be living with students from a variety of majors. I am going to put the link in the chat for all of our living experiences that list out all of our residential academic programs and some of the other housing experiences here at CU. Let's see here. Our next question, if doing a campus tour, is there an opportunity to connect and get additional information or have a more specific tour of the dance department and dance opportunities?
So for that, I would reach out to Erica Randall. I will find her email and drop that in the chat specifically to tour the dance department. Erica is the department chair for theater and dance. She does a lot of work on the dance side of things. She teaches a lot of the graduate technique classes, as well as some of the seminar undergraduate and undergraduate technique classes as well. So I will grab her email and drop that in the chat for you, and you can reach out and set that up with her.
Thanks, Kyle. And then we do also offer an arts and sciences specific tour. So I know the Office of Admissions offers their general tour. I know that we have one that goes around and talks about arts and sciences buildings, opportunities within the college. Right now we are offering those on Fridays. This semester we are looking to add Mondays in the spring, but those are led by our ambassador. So you could potentially have Kyle and meet him in person if you come and visit campus. So know that there's that opportunity as well. And I'll find a link and throw that in the chat if you want to sign up for an arts and sciences tour. Our next question, do most first-year students live in the dorms? And maybe Kyle, you can talk about your first-year experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually ended up kind of doing both first-year options. I lived in the dorms my first semester and then commuted from home my second semester. We do have a 1-year requirement for, we do have a 1-year requirement for the freshmen to live in dorms. That can be appealed if you do live within a certain radius of CU. So you can appeal to not live in the dorm and commute. And I would say that my dorm experience was largely positive. I was in Athens North Hall, which is a little bit of a walk from campus. That was the main downside, was it's more on the northern side. But I had some great roommates, very chill kind of community, not a whole lot of rowdiness or distractions from studying. So that was very appreciated. And I ended up going to commute from my home to save money. And that has its perks and its drawbacks as well. Definitely saved a lot of money, but it's a little bit harder to stay involved on campus when you're not as close. So that is the one thing that I would say about my dorm experience, just at CU in general. Yeah.
Thanks, Kyle. And our next question was kind of related. Do students live on campus? For how many years is living on campus required? So like Kyle mentioned, you'll typically live on campus during your first year. If you do live within a certain radius of campus, you can ask that you live off campus. It kind of is specific to every student's situation, but typically just that first year. Most students during their second, third, fourth year will live off campus, kind of surrounding the university. Know that we do also have apartment style living experiences or housing for our second, third, fourth years that are apartments, and those tend to be furnished. But again, typically 1 year is what students will do.
And I'll jump in here, and perhaps my colleagues can add to this. But for those of you who haven't had a chance to visit campus or Boulder, it really is one of those quintessential college towns. The campus is extremely walkable. Even though it's a fairly large campus, it's nice and compact. You can walk from one end of campus to the other in 15, 20 minutes. A lot of people have bikes. A lot of people have skateboards and scooters to get around. It's just a really, really cool college community. We've got a little business community called The Hill, where you can go and grab coffee, or the little college restaurants there. And then for those of you who haven't checked it out, Pearl Street is a kind of main downtown drag, which is also just notable. So, one thing I like to tell folks is that Boulder is really one of those destination places. People come to Boulder because it's Boulder. It's just really a special place. It's really lots to do. The environment's just great. People really care about their health in the environment. It's a very active lifestyle. But that's one of the things, I think just the atmosphere. I know that's not just arts and sciences, it's the university, but it is one thing that I like to highlight that makes kind of Boulder special if you're thinking about it. So I'm not sure, I'm speaking as the non alum actually here talking about that, but I've lived and worked in Boulder for over 20 years. And I actually have a daughter who's graduated from Boulder, and I just found it to be a very supportive, awesome college community. So if you're looking for that college experience, Boulder is really the place. So I'm not sure, Kyle, Yasmin, David, you want to add to that? I thought I'd just highlight that. No? Okay.
I mean, you said it all.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else. I mean, it has been a great time for me, just my 4 years at CU. It's a beautiful campus. Even completing my education during the shutdown of COVID, still was able to get a lot out of my education at CU. And I think that a lot of that does have to do with being a research-based university, having all of these opportunities and these diverse experiences. And the town itself reflects that. It reflects that mentality of the College of Arts and Sciences and CU Boulder in general. And I think that it's a really, really great place to, as Jason said, have that college experience.
Great.
Thanks, Kyle.
One more thing, Yasmin, something that you touched on. I know that we're not quite past COVID times, and so I know one of the questions is where are we as a campus? We did make a great effort to have most of our classes in person this year. So we were able to get the vast majority of our classes in person. We still have some of our larger lecture halls or lecture classes remote, with the attempt to have some of the breakout sections in person, but know that the campus is really, really committed to trying to get as many of those courses and as much of our experience online as possible. I know that we're still in the middle of it. There's still a lot of hybrid experiences out there, but know that we're really trying to make an effort to make sure that you've got that on-campus experience. That's what you're looking for.
All right, and this will be our last question, just so I respect everyone's time. What is the criteria for admissions to the Honors College when you apply as a first year?
I'll go ahead and answer that. It's really sort of a holistic review. I mean, you're at minimum, you're likely going to need to at least have a 3.8 GPA. Know that we've gotten rid of, or that our SAT and ACT is no longer required as part of your admissions application. So we're really looking at extracurriculars, volunteer activities, of course, a stricter schedule and GPA, but we don't have really a standard cutoff just yet, or something that we can really point to say this is going to get you into honors or not. Know that it's an automatic consideration scholarship. And so scholarship program. So when you apply, we'll automatically consider you for honors and extend an invitation with your admission. If for some reason you apply and you don't get an invitation to honors, it is something that you could enter sophomore, junior year. Certainly also reach out to us if we've made a mistake. And so we do the best that we can in reviewing all the applications, and we'll certainly give you consideration if you're really interested in the honors program.
Okay, thank you, Jason. And then just to emphasize again that it's the Arts and Sciences Honors Program. Each college will have their own program for honors, so there's no specific honors college. Again, each college within CU will have their own honors program. And then with that, I do want to have Kyle just share a piece of wisdom or advice to students who are kind of doing that college search process and kind of figuring things out.
Yeah, absolutely. I would honestly say my biggest piece of advice for any high school senior who is in our Zoom room today, enjoy it, first of all. Enjoy high school, because it seems like a whole lot of drama and BS right now, but you're going to miss it. So enjoy it while it lasts. And as you're going through the college selection process, really take the time and sit down with yourself and say, what do I want out of these next 4 years? You know, do I want to be doing these kinds of applied projects? Do I want to be doing, studying abroad? Really ask yourself those questions of what do you want to get out of the next 4 years? And then look at your options and see where the best fit is. Where are you going to get those opportunities that you want or need for your career? And really be honest with yourself. What do you want and what do you need for yourself to advance into whatever field you want to go to?
Thanks, Kyle. And I know there were a couple of questions that we didn't get to, so I'm throwing our email again in the chat. It's thecollege@colorado.edu, so feel free to shoot us an email and we'll get back to you. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Kyle, for that advice and all of your insight into what it's like being here, a student here at CU.